if you want to get minimum 12 million merits in Call of Dragons, there is one mandatory thing which you have to have besides artifacts and heroes, right? That's of course Warpeds. In this video, I will show you all of my Archer Warped builds. Also, I will share which kind of Warped skills are more free-to-play friendly. And hopefully, after watching this video, it will be easier for you to build your perfect Warped, because in my opinion, Warpeds are like third heroes in your march. First of all, I have to say that I have never purchased Warped currency with money. I have never done anything else besides getting currencies organically. Basically, all my Warpeds which I'm going to share is by playing this game as a free-to-play player, and of course being active, being fighter, and getting every single Warped skill from the merit store. So hopefully it will be a good motivation for you in order for you to build your best possible Warpeds which you can build. Of course, I'm gonna share all the Archer Warpeds which I currently build. I will share my ideas. I will tell you two different stories about, I guess, each Warped, because they are different, and of course I will be more than glad to share. So first of all, we're gonna speak about Snowpeak Roc, right? I have to tell, all my Warpeds have healing. It's not mandatory to have a healing on your Warpeds, because some of them can be full damage dealing Warpeds, but I generally like healing in this game, and that's the reason why I put all the Warpeds on healing, right? First of all, Snowpeak Roc making concentration 3-star is mandatory. Generally, if you don't have your main talent skill 3-star, you are missing out on a lot of strengths, and hopefully that's your number one priority whenever you are building these Warpeds, right? I believe having the advanced concentration and intense concentration is a good idea. This one will give you trigger chance, and this one will give you more damage. Luck, strength, and agility is the perfect stats for the Snowpeak Roc. After that starts most important, right? Generally, talent skills are mandatory, and after that, what it actually matters. Chain Strike is the Warped skill for the Archer gameplay, which is not expensive, and you can easily make it minimum 2-star. In my case, because I love healing with Archers, I went for the Advanced Chain Strike, but I can honestly say you can even run Snowpeak Roc without Advanced Chain Strike, and instead of this Warped skill, you can go for the Angry Roar, which is the crit rate skill, and your Warped will be full damage dealing Warped with a high amount of crit rate. And if you will have 8 skill slots, in the end you will add Fatal Bite, which will increase crit damage also, and basically you will crit from your concentration by the Blood Roar and Angry Roar. Fatal Bite will give you more crit damage, and that will be the full damage dealing build for the Snowpeak Roc. Second version is just like mine. You're gonna go for the Advanced Chain Strike. You're gonna go for the Blood Roar. If you are running for the Advanced Chain Strike, you won't gonna be able to put Angry Roar, because you can only put 3 same attribute skills on your Warpeds, and Chain Strike, Intense Chain Strike, and Advanced Chain Strike is already agility, and Angry Roar is also agility, right? One more thing you can do, you can replace Intense Chain Strike with the Angry Roar. That's also possible, but as you can see, there is a different possibilities in terms of building Archer Warpeds, and depending what you're gonna choose, you will build for yourself. That's the first Warped which is available for the Archers, especially for the defense break heroes such as Kinara, Nico, Sibyl, and also we have them, right? Kinara, Nico, and Sibyl are the only heroes which are giving us defense break. So that's the pairs for the Snowpeak Roc. Next one, which is Night Roc. Night Roc is totally different. Night Roc is normal attack crit rate hero pair Warped, easily understandable, increases crit rate. Here, yet again, I believe you have to have all 3 Ravage skills for this Warped, because the last one is actually really important. Also, Chain Strike synergy for this warped, same again, Advanced Chain Strike or Angry Roar, Blood Roar, and Fatal Bite can be the choice, right? Basically, these are the skills which are generally used for almost every single warped. There is always a 2 style, so depending whichever you are going to run, what you like more, that's the choice you are going to make. As you can see, I have not really built my Nitroc because I kinda skipped my Syndron and Freygar in terms of investments for the legendary tokens. That's why I was at first trying my best to make concentration 3-star, and whenever the Nitroc came out, my Snowpeak Roc was not ready. So I had to finish Snowpeak Roc, and then already third Archer Warped was coming to the game. That's why I had to skip my Nitroc. That's why it looks like this. But if you like Syndron and Freygar, you're gonna go for this Warped. Ray Rage 3 skills are really nice, and Chain Strike synergy should be the choice. Also, you're either gonna go for crit rate, crit damage, or you're gonna go for the Advanced Chain Strike for some more healing. But generally, Nitroc is not the best one, is not the bad one, but it's kinda average Warped for the Archer gameplay. But the next Warped which we're gonna speak is my best warped, which I gave most time because Magrat and Zaida was number 1 archer hero pair for a while, and currently they are number 2 in terms of merits, right? That's why I tried my best to give as much attention to Shadow Manticore as possible. That's how I got Chain Strike 3-star, Intense Chain Strike 3-star, and even Blood Roar 2-star, right? You're gonna ask how I got these 2 skills 3-stars. I think I used like 2 KVKs of worth of warped skills from the merit store. Basically sold 99% of them, slowly collected warped currencies, and that's how I built this 3-star Chain Strike and 3-star Advanced Chain Strike. Of course, Barbarism is important because that's the main talent skill, and one of the best things which you can actually do for the Shadow Manticore is to make Intense Barbarism 3-star, but this warped skill costs a lot of currencies. That's why 26k, I will make like 2 or 3 other skills 3-star, and like if you're gonna compare, only one pair of these cost 26, which means we're gonna need 4. So basically more than 100k warped currencies will be needed in order for us to make Intense Barbarism 3-star, which is out of our world, especially if you are not paying your money in terms of warpeds, right? I went for the Advanced Chain Strike. If your hero pair already has healing, if your warped already has healing, there is even more reason why you should go for the Advanced Chain Strike, because it will add up. And this warped is basically small damage, a lot of healing, and that's how in general Magrat and Zaida is performing, right? Magrat and Zaida is all about survivability in fights and healing from the Advanced Chain Strike, which is variable healing. Also, Magrat is the only legendary archer hero who has variable healing. It's kinda stacks, it's kinda perfect combination, so I don't believe that you should play Shadow Manticore without Advanced Chain Strike. For the Snowpeak Roc, it was different, as I mentioned, but for the Shadow Manticore, I believe having Advanced Chain Strike should be the mandatory aspect, right? I went for the Tooth of the Claw because it's a cheaper version than Fatal Bite. I did not want to spend a lot of currencies on Fatal Bite on the warped like this, which main idea is to heal and some damage. That's why I just went for the cheaper version of the Fatal Bite. That's why Tooth of the Claw is here. And Blood Roar, some crit rate. Who said we can't have a crit rate, at least one skill, even on the warped which has a lot of healing, and that's why for sure if our warped is going to crit, also that's a pretty good idea. For the stats, luck, agility and strength is the priority. Unfortunately, I wasn't really able to have these strengths S tier, but maybe in the future I will roll some more and I will get the strengths on S tier also. The next warped which is the Barbed Manticore, which is really interesting warped. You can see I have not finished my Barbed Manticore because Falgrim and Sibyl is not the hero pairs which I invested a lot of legendary tokens. I just made the Puncture 3-star, and this skill is all about defense break. If your hero pair is applying defense break, you will get 50 rage. If your hero pair doesn't have a defense break, this warped will inflict defense break, -5 defense penetration for 3 seconds. So you can use this warped with the defense break hero pairs will be better, but if you don't want to use with them, you will at least apply some defense break and have some damage factor which is close to 515, right? Now here, I will say this warped has the same style as Snowpeak Roc. I just love Advanced Chain Strike, that's why I have on every single warped, but it's not that mandatory on Barbed Manticore. You can easily go for the Blood Roar and Angry Roar and go for a full damage dealing crit rate style on Barbed Manticore. It will work perfectly well in my opinion. And of course, if you will have max amount of skill slots, in the end you will add Fatal Bite also, and that should be a pretty good warped to have with the Barbed Manticore, right? Generally, that's my priority. Simply, I want my warpeds to have healing. If you want your warpeds to do just more damage and full damage, you're gonna go for the Angry Roar and the Blood Roar with Fatal Bite. If not, you're gonna go for the Advanced Chain Strike, and one Blood Roar will be enough. If I had another skill slot here, I would add Tooth of the Claw, which is the cheaper version for the cheaper version than the Fatal Bite, so that's also the choice, right? If you are running Angry Roar and Blood Roar, it's much better to go for the Fatal Bite because you are committing on a crit rate build, and you have to get the best crit damage scale for the warpeds which we have in the game, right? So yeah, I have a pretty amazing luck, nice agility, but unfortunately not impressive strengths. I think I won't gonna touch this warped's attributes. I will just make Chain Strike 2-star and Intense Chain Strike 2-star in the future. Hopefully I will have enough warped currencies. Now, the last warped which we have for the Archer gameplay is of course Windweasel, which I believe currently in the game does one of the highest amount of damage, and I will say that this warped with the Advanced Chain Strike actually heals a lot, because Ruby and Island can deal damage to a lot of targets, and from that lot of targets, you will get a lot of healing when you are defeating your opponents. That's how you're gonna get a lot of healing for the Windweasel, right? I even put Fatal Bite and Tooth of the Claw together because I believe it's not a necessity to have a Northwind last skill for this warped, because I believe the Tooth of the Claw 2-star is quite close to having same amount of physical damage dealt increase in percentages than the Northwind's last skill. Northwind last skill will cost 4 Yggdra crystals, and I believe it's not that important to have third Northwind skill. Northwind and Intense Northwind will be enough, plus we are having the crit rate from Intense Northwind, so Blood Roar and Intense Northwind is like the same style as Angry Roar and Blood Roar. So this warped is amazing because this skill it has a crit rate, which means we don't even have to add Angry Roar. Basically, this warped can be played with the 2 style, but with the same skills, right? You don't have to remove Advanced Chain Strike, you don't have to add Angry Roar, just one Blood Roar. Intense Northwind will be like Angry Roar, but even better. Add Advanced Chain Strike, and you are basically ready. And Fatal Bite, of course, because we have 2 crit rate skills, and Tooth of the Claw, because we already have Fatal Bite, right? So I believe Windweasel is one of the unique warpeds in our game because of this Intense Northwind and having crit rate here. And you can basically put every single archer warped skill, and this warped will actually work. And of course, I believe currently in the game, Windweasel does the highest amount of damage simply because Ruby and Island does highest amount of damage if we are comparing other archer hero pairs. That's the number one warped currently in the game, and same about Ruby and Island. They are number one hero pair in the game. Also, we have Sand Lizard. Sand Lizard is the one of it's not one the cheapest warped in the game to build. You just have to have Sandstone Aura, which I'm currently trying to make it 3-star. You don't have to get the second Stone Aura skill, but of course, if you will be able to get third Stone Aura skill, which will heal more if you have a high agility, will be the priority, right? I believe Tranquility should be the warped skill to put on this warped. Great Care is also a nice skill. Divine Blessing also, and instead of Poison Gland, I will be putting Advanced Chain Strike even here, right? So all these warped skills, Divine Blessing, Tranquility, Great Care, even like Robust Body, is really cheap, and it's pretty easy to make it 2-star, and it's even easier to make it 3-star if we are comparing to other warped skills. So if you want a cheaper version, Sand Lizard is nice, but in general, I believe Sand Lizard is better warped for a mage gameplay than archers. I believe archers kinda want to have some more damage from the warpeds also, not only healing. But of course, if you have other warpeds already completed like me, you will take your attention towards Sand Lizard and put the skills up the stars because it's really cheap. So basically, these are all my builds which I created without paying in this game, and of course, I will share, in my opinion, which warped skills are the most free-to-play friendly for the archer gameplay to make them 3-star. Right, of course, even 2-star, but some skills are super expensive, which I won't recommend to have a target on, but some warped skills are super cheap. For example, let's go and check. The number one is Tooth of the Claw. It's not that super expensive to make Tooth of the Claw 3-star, but if we are comparing to Fatal Bite is super expensive to make it 3-star. So if you are a free-to-play player, Tooth of the Claw will be a great replacement for the Fatal Bite. Also, Chain Strike, which is one of the best warped skills for the archer gameplay, one of the most mandatory warped skills, is actually pretty cheap. Now you can easily make it 2-star and 3-star. I believe one copy will cost 6 to 7k, so 20k warped currency you will be able to make Chain Strike 3-star. Chain Strike, Intense Strike, Chain Strike and Tooth of the Claw is one of the best free-to-play friendly archer gameplay warped skills. Blood Roar, I would say you can easily make Blood Roar 2-star, but after 2-star, just forget it, because Blood Roar will cost somewhere near 100k to make it 3-star. So Blood Roar only 2-star is mostly free-to-play friendly. What about other warped skills for the archer gameplay? I believe you can easily say same about Angry Roar, right? You can make Angry Roar 2-star, but making these warped skills 3-star will be most costly. Of course, there is some warped skills, such as, like for example, let me check, like Timely Strike, Crit Rate, you can easily make it 3-star, but percentage is really low. Like, it's better to have Blood Roar 2-star than have Timely Strike 3-star. Same goes to, for example, Hitback, Crit Rate, of course, you can easily make it 3-star, but simple Blood Roar 2-star is even better. Same for the Track of the Hunt and so on, right? So, Angry Roar 2-star is free-to-play friendly, Blood Roar 2-star is free-to-play friendly, Chain Strike, Intense Chain Strike and Tooth of the Claw, they are free-to-play friendly warped skills. But also, I would suggest you to always try out Advanced Chain Strike for the archer gameplay, because I believe longer you're gonna stay alive on the battlefield, more and more damage you are going to deal towards your opponent. So that's the one reason why I always try to have Advanced Chain Strike on my warpeds.
Basically, this is my collection. I build it like a free-to-play player, have not spent a single dollar on my Warpeds. You can ask how I got so much Warped currency. I will show you, of course. The main way how you can get your Warped currency is through the merit store, right? Every single week, all these 3 Warped skills, even this one, should be purchased. Whenever you're gonna refresh the weekly supply for the merit store, yet again, all the Warped currency, all the Warped skills should be bought. Without that, it will be impossible for free-to-play players to get Warped currencies to upgrade the Warped skills, right? You're only gonna save Blood Roars, you're only gonna save Chain Strikes. All the other Warped skills which you are going to see here, like skills for the mages, skills for the infantry, skills for the cavalry, you are going to sell them and invest all your saved up Warped currency towards your archer Warped skills. That's the gameplay I'm playing, and that's how I got my Warpeds in such a good position, and they are helping me to get a lot of merits for my account. In my KVK Zone 3 have not even opened, and I already have 12 million merits. Until the end of this KVK, let's see how much I'm gonna have. Something tells me if fights will continue, I will have quite a lot, right? Hopefully you learned something new after watching this video, and as always, if you like the video, press like, subscribe, share. It always gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody amazing day, morning and night. We are going to see each other really soon. Bye bye and good luck.